Hello and welcome everybody to another edition of the Buy Round Interview Show. Today I'm joined by England teammate and English legend, Canberra legend in the NRL, who's just had quite the exit. None other than Elliot Whitehead.
Thank you for having me. It's been a while to get you to invite me to come on, but I'm here now, so yeah.
Yeah, you're here now, and we've just finished recording it.
Got a nice message from Brandon.
An episode with Brandon Smith, who knew you were coming in. Fuck you, you fat pommy, C-U-N-T. And signed Brandon Smith. Maybe you can take that on.
I might sell that.
Yeah, just put that up on your wall. That was your exit strategy.
Got him out.
But to be fair, like you saw each other on the way out, and it was a big hug. And
yeah, look, you know, disappointing what happened off the tackle, but obviously I didn't mean to do that. It's unfortunate sometimes in the game where you land on people when you don't mean to, and you know, unfortunately he got his ACL, which I messaged him after and said sorry and stuff, and yeah, like I said, we hugged when we saw each other today. So yeah,
he was gunning for you in here because you arrived a little bit early, and I was finishing with Brandon, but he said you were running scared, like you wouldn't come in, but
no, not from him.
No. But what about from Trent Robinson? Geez, that was...
Oh, look, you know, obviously, like I said, I didn't mean it, and I went over just to apologise and just to see how he was. Obviously, I didn't know how he was after the game, and, you know, the way he reacted towards me, I thought we were a bit out of order, and we had a little bit of an argument on the field, and obviously there's a bit of footage where I walk away and stuff, but... You know, end of the day, I just went over, apologised, didn't mean to do it. It's part of the game, and I just fell awkwardly on him, and he come out with an injury. And like I said, I messaged Brandon, and everything's good from his side. And yeah, we had a little bust up with Robbo.
Was it a bit of like a storm in the teacup though? Like, I was shown the footage of it. It just sort of looked a little bit like nothing, and you're allowed to disagree. Like, I agree with you going over to Brandon to say sorry, but I also agree with Trent Robinson being like, mate, what are you doing, kind of thing? Do you know what I mean?
I think the thing that got me, he said that it's been part of my game for a while, and you know, I think the rule's been in the game now for a couple of years, and I've never been done by it, so I was just a bit shocked by him saying that. Obviously, I probably have done it a few times, but for him to say it's been in my game for a while and stuff, just threw me off a little bit. I didn't really expect that reaction from him. I expected him just to say, yeah, he's good, and obviously, I'd have thought he'd knew I didn't mean to do it, but yeah, the way he came at me, I was just a bit shocked, and yeah, I had a little go back at him and walked off.
Well, mate, you said it's been in your game for a while. Jeremy Lattimore, good friend of mine.
I got him once, yeah. Well, that was before it became illegal.
Well, yeah. Well, that was the incident that I thought was going to, like, the way Jerry was carrying on. I was injured that game, and I looked, I thought, oh no, he's gone here, and then. He started running up and down the sideline, and I was like, because that was his last year at the Dragons, and I thought that the way he was carrying on, went off on a stretcher. I thought I was getting into the mode of I'm gonna have to like have those comforting conversations with Jerry and be like, mate, it's okay to finish your NRL career with an injury. It's sad, it's unfortunate, but then he was fine. But he just wanted me to let you know and remind you. So
I'll tell him sorry as well. But it was legal back then, so I could do it. So
it is great to have you on, and obviously you're moving on to pastures new smell. We'll get into that in a little bit, but you made a little bit of an error, didn't you? The other week, how mobile phones and names can get mixed up a little bit. Can you just tell our listeners and viewers in your own words what happened?
But back at Canberra, we were just going to get the leadership group and have a lunch at the woman called Lou that does his leadership meetings and stuff, and she asked me to organise it, and obviously we called Jamal Fogarty Jammer too. And I've added everyone to the group, and instead of putting Jamal Fogarty, like I've got him in my phone, I added Jammer. And he tried making the most of it. I'm not sure if he's got anything on me from that, but yeah. And all the boys were messaging me saying, oh, whose is this other number? And I'm thinking, hey, why haven't you got Jamal's number saved? And then all of a sudden it just clicked, and I'm like, oh, can I swear on it? I'm like, for fuck's sake, this is not going to go bad when he wants me on this podcast. So hopefully he didn't get out. Hopefully the boys stuck solid, but I'm not sure if they did.
No, I refrained. I think I did you a good deed as well by voluntarily
Leaving.
Exiting that chat because
I couldn't kick you out either. Trying to for ages.
Well, you didn't go WhatsApp group.
Yeah,
WhatsApp
you
group.
can kick 'em out.
You could kick me out because it was an iMessage group.
You're stuck in there.
I was stuck in there, and I think that particular day I'd had a few drinks as well, and I thought I want to do the right thing here and exit the group because it could have turned
Saved all the numbers and messaged them all on slide.
It could have turned nasty. And mate, you know what? Even our good mate Hodgie and obviously good mate John Bateman, I haven't gone to them either to dig up any dirt. So
We'll see.
I genuinely have looked after your smell, but I was pissing myself when I was added to that group.
Yeah.
Like I was in fucking hysterics at home just because they were fired up, they were ready to go.
Yeah. So hopefully they aren't, but yeah,
No.
big mistake.
You're
mistake.
trying to look here at what I've got on the rundown, but no. Smell. Why are you leaving Canberra? Like, what's the go?
Oh, look, I think I've been there 9 years now, and I'm 35 now, and
Are you 35?
yeah, I'm old now. So been around a while.
You're only 4 years younger than me.
Don't look at that.
I
I
always
look a lot
thought you.
younger.
I always thought you classified you as one of the young lads.
Nah,
I always thought I was going out with you because I'm hanging around with. I wanted to
every
hang around with
Tuesday
you.
night on tour, I get a message saying, "Oh, let's go out for a few beers," and it end up a big night. I'm like, fuck. But yeah, look, just I think where Canberra's going in the direction, they've signed a lot of young players, and obviously they didn't want those older boys staying around for too long to take them chances away from the young guys. So I had an opportunity to go back to Catalans, where I always promised I'd go back if I ever went back to Super League, and I probably just wasn't ready to retire last year. And I'm happy I made that choice to go back to Catalans, and looking forward to being back there with them.
Yeah. Just on, you say go back to Catalan. Is it anything to do with the?
Shamaj, no. I need to be thinking about money. No, it's not.
Mate, you said it, not me. Mate, so there's no love for the club. I was going to say, is it going back for the love for the club? Because that's why I went back to Saints. Because I love the club.
Yeah, sure, it's in your pay packet you got.
Yeah. But wait, what? Chômage, I don't even know what it is. I've never lived in France.
I'm not too sure what the all ins and outs, but I think once you finish, you get 2 years and you get a certain percentage of your salary. Which I'm not looking to do. Obviously, I want to come back to Canberra once the year's finished at Catalans and do some coaching there and hopefully progress in that aspect. But Shamajin on my list to go back there now.
Yeah, because it's
I heard you try going there before Saints. And I said,
no, I was gonna go Saints and then to lose. Mate, it is very. There's a big incentive there, isn't there, to finish in France, like
I
with
think
what they can sort you out
and
with.
I think the lifestyle there as well. Obviously, the heat's a little bit different to England and stuff, and it's a lovely place to live, and especially in Catalans, there's a lot of love for rugby league there. So the people around the area, really get involved and get very passionate about that. So it's a good club to go to and to join. I loved my time there for 2.5 years, and like I said, I always said if I ever go back after Canberra, it'll be definitely back to Catalans.
Can you speak French?
Petit peu français. Nah, I need to get better. That's one thing I wish I did learn when I was there. I wish I learned a lot more French, but it was just hard because the group I had and I hung around, there were a lot more English and Aussies there, so they didn't really speak.
Who was your crew when you were there?
I had Price, Brent Webb, all the older guys, Darryl Millard, Lapini Payer,
Did they not make you learn French?
They did, but a lot of it was just English because obviously a lot of the spine were English as well. Ian Henderson, so it was more just English. So yeah, I think it's changed a little bit now. I think Steve McNamara's trying to drive that where they have to try learn it. So I'm looking forward to trying to learn a bit more.
So you're going for a year?
Yep.
And then
I reckon I'll be done. Depends how my body is, but I just want to go back. Obviously I think they made 2 out of the last 3 grand finals. So where they've improved since I've left is really positive, and what Steve McNamara's done there as a coach with that club has been good. Obviously they had a little bit of a disappointing this year, but we've made some great signings for next year, and looking forward to joining up with all them. Yeah,
Tommy Makinson, former teammate of mine, obviously with us for England. Luke Keary joins.
Tavita Pangai.
Oh yeah, Panga Junior's gone, hasn't he?
Nick Kotrick.
Jeez, you're gonna have a stack side.
And then another young kid, Ollie Peterson or something from Salford. You're at Wigan. He's a good player.
Yeah.
So yeah, to add to like Tyreek Sims and the boys that are already there, it's exciting. Yeah.
Yeah. So idea to go there,
Hopefully
and then
win a comp,
and then come back to the Australia in general. Come back to the Raiders.
Canberra. Love Canberra. Everyone hates it. I love it.
But it's in Australia.
Yeah.
So when you say you're coming back,
I'm coming back to Canberra though. I'm not going anywhere else in Australia. Just to Canberra.
Just to Canberra.
Yeah. I'm from Bradford, mate. I don't need beaches and that.
You don't. So. Well, neither do I. But they're all right to look at. What is it? What is it about Canberra that you admire and you fell in love with?
Just how probably laid back it is. Like, it's a big country town, and I've really got into that kind of culture now. Like, obviously, like going out fishing and stuff like that, and camping and stuff, and it's just easy to get around as well. Every weekend we come up to Sydney or we get away, and it's just you walk through Sydney, it's just too busy, man. I can't cope with it. Just hectic.
Yes.
Hectic, that's Aussie word as well.
Yeah, you have changed. You have changed. But it's not that busy here compared to.
It's not that bad now. Tunnels actually, that's a lot better.
Yeah,
driving here, but
ambition to when you say go back to Canberra. Are we talking the Raiders or just the city?
Nah,
in
to the
general?
Raiders. Hopefully, I get a coaching gig there, and that's probably something I have to speak to Sticky and Don in the next couple of months about, and try to organise that for when I come back, and that's something I'll be looking forward to doing.
Have you so your ambition to get into like serious coaching, or would you just do the like? I know obviously Hodgie doing the juniors at Para.
Yeah,
he's got ambitions, I think, to go on to become a first grade coach. Is that where?
I think that would be my goal
at?
in the long run. Obviously, I don't want to jump straight in there, and I just want to learn that trade a little bit. Obviously, I've got a lot to learn and stuff, and going back to that club, I think learning from Sticky and Gits and that people that are there at the moment, then it'll be helpful for me, like leading up to that goal that I want to become a head coach.
Canberra have recruited, especially since your time, a lot of English. What is it about the Raiders and Canberra that you think attracts those English lads to come over?
I'd probably say me, just to drag them all in. Look, I think I've played a little part in getting John and George and stuff over. I remember ringing Sticky in a nightclub with George Williams to get him over. So,
what? Hang on, you and Sticky were in a nightclub?
No, I have rung Sticky with me and George. Were in a nightclub.
I was going to say, yeah. So you and George,
we're in a nightclub in Hull, and I've got on phone to Stick, and I said, "Will you sign George Williams?" And he's like, "Oh, if he's keen." And then it went from there really. So that's how George Williams.
Seriously, that was the
So.
Is there something about like I guess the climate there as well where
and I think you get all 4 seasons, which is a little bit back home. It's not like up in Brisbane where it's hot all the time, but I think it makes you feel a little bit at home as well. I think the thing with John and George, there were COVID around and their family couldn't come out to see him and stuff, which made it hard. Obviously John with his daughter and George's missus were pregnant, so it made it a lot harder for them, and I can understand why they did miss home, because it does get hard when you don't have a lot of friends around and family as well. So, but I believe if COVID wasn't around, then them two would still be a big part of the Raiders.
Yeah. Just with you're moving on. Where are the Raiders at moving forward? They signed some really good young players. They seem to, like, I guess outside looking in, you could argue they've overachieved the past couple of years. What is it about the Raiders that makes them go above and beyond compared to what you think from other teams in the comp, and then where can they get to with this young crop of players coming through?
Look, I think the future is very positive. I think they've got a lot of young talent, like you said, and they've signed a lot of young talent to come in. And obviously, if you can get that connection, that culture working off the field, I think that's a big part. I think when we have been successful in Canberra as a group, we've been very solid, and we've got no little individual groups, and I think that's played a major part in us doing well on the field. And I feel like Canberra's a lot easier to do that than the bigger cities like Sydney, and that where everyone's a little bit spread out, where it's 10-15 minutes to go see each other.
Very close knit community.
And I think all the families and partners and everyone get on as well, so it makes it a lot more a bit better environment for everybody, and I just feel like he gets the best out of the players.
Yeah. Sticky obviously is a huge part of that. You've played under some great coaches. What is it about him that you seem to gets the best out of his players and obviously the best out of yourself?
Oh, look, sometimes he gets a bit too passionate, but that's what the type of bloke he is, and I love him for that, and he drives that through all us as well, and he'll always have your back, even if you have messed up. As long as you're honest with him, he'll support you and like look after you and stuff.
It's a big thing now, isn't it? Like people make mistakes, players do. Like rugby league.
A lot of boys are young kids as well, and they're gonna make mistakes, but as long as you're honest with him, he's always got your back.
Like on and off the field.
Yeah. And I think if you lied to him, though, you've probably gone out the door next year.
Yeah,
So, but that's the culture he wants to bring and stuff. You know what I mean?
I reckon that's 100% fair enough. Like, tell me the truth, I'll tell you the truth. Just don't fucking lie to me.
Yeah.
In terms of what he's building there, can you see them being a playoff force and a premiership force in years to come?
Yeah, definitely can. I think this year the young kids have showed a lot of potential, and they're a little bit. I know once you get a little bit more experience and learn how to manage games a little better, you get a lot better as a team and as a club. And I feel like what he's building and the youth that he's got there at the moment can really do something over the next couple of years. I'm not saying they're going to be winning a grand final next year, but they're definitely the next few years they'll be challenging again for a grand final.
One of the lads there that seems to, he played State of Origin, Corey Horsburgh. Like for me, he's a top quality middle forward. What was the situation with him there? Because it always intrigued us all. Like, why is he not getting a game? Like,
I think with Corey, he had a lot of injuries, and he just probably didn't deal with him the right way. He'd sulk about having to go back to cup and instead of getting straight back in and earning his spot again. But like you said, he's a quality player. Like I told him before he played Origin, a few years before that he'd play Origin, because he's a great player and he's a big part of that Raiders, and he showed that at the back end of the year when he played again. So hopefully all these injuries are behind him. He gets a good pre-season and he'll start the season running.
Yeah. Hey, spoke about you playing in Catalan, but growing up in Bradford,
beautiful spot, mate. Beautiful.
It is. Was it always going to be rugby league for you? And you said you enjoyed your time at Catalans, but coming through at the system at Bradford, were you a Bradford fan growing up? And the success that they had, late 90s, early 2000s was insane.
I remember just studying stand watching them. They had some great players like Vinacolo and Shante Napi, and they were probably the best team in the world at the time.
They were. Yeah, they beat Penrith in...
I think I probably ball boyed that game. I ball boyed either that one or Tigers game. One of them. One at the Huddersfield Giants ground.
Were you ball boy?
Yeah. So...
Fucking hell.
But yeah, obviously you yourself, growing up watching like St Helens, obviously a Bradford fan, something I always wanted to do. And there were a time when I probably thought I wouldn't make it when they released me, and I had to go find a job. I became an electrician for a year and a half. And
was that when they went? Was that 2012 when they went under?
No, I'm old, mate. This was like 2007 when they released me, and then I came back.
Did they?
Yeah.
So, were they still in the Super League then?
Yeah.
Or did they release you
under 16, 17? So they signed some boys to go up in at first grade, and then they told me no.
Really?
So, yeah.
But you played first team for them, did you?
Yeah, but I went back in 2008, like a year and a half later, and re-signed because I played at West Bowling under Leon Price.
Hang on a minute, you were there. You got released as a youngster.
Yeah, and then he asked me to come back, so I went back because I got picked for under-18s England to come over here.
Yeah.
Then they asked me to go back, and then I had to make a choice, either carry on my electrician apprentice or forget that and try again with rugby. So I chose to try again with rugby. So yeah, it worked out pretty well.
So yeah, they brush you at what, 15?
15, 16, I think it was.
And then you do a year in the amateurs.
Yeah.
Like literally in... Did no other clubs come in for you? Because if you're playing England Academy...
Nah. No, because I went back to play under Leon at West Bowling, and then I was playing national conference there, and then yeah, then they asked me to go back and play a few games for the under-18s team academy, and then I got selected to go to England. So then they made me a full-time contract, and I had to decide whether to stay an electrician or try again with rugby. So
it's not really a choice, is it?
Yeah,
and then playing it for like our Aussie listeners that maybe don't know, like we spoke there about the level of success that Bradford had back in the day, in those late 90s, early 2000s. But then when you got there, they were probably on the slide a little bit, weren't they? But it's still amazing. Like every time we got into England camp, the ex-Bradford Bulls boys,
like
you,
me,
the
Sam,
Burgess boys,
John
Bateman, Luke Gale.
Yeah, there were a lot of us. So we had a good squad. It just, the financially struggled, and they came up a bit short with cash a few months, and then next minute they were in administration. So yeah.
Were you there during or you left?
No, I was still there. So that was one of the reasons I asked to leave, because I wasn't sure where it was going, and obviously another reason was I was only 22, 23, and there weren't many like older back rowers. I think Steve Means is the oldest one I need left to go to Catalan, and I felt like I wasn't learning anything off anyone, and I would try to learn like John, Tom Olbison, a lot of younger boys that were there, and didn't really know what to say to them because I didn't know myself. So I knew that Catalan were interested in me, and I just signed a 5-year deal as well, actually. So
you've signed 5 years at Bradford.
And I lasted about 6 months, and then I had to get released.
And did Catalan pay a fee, or
I had to pay half of it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
mate. I think in that administration. So were you there when they actually just? Were you there with Mick Potter?
Yeah. So we went well under Mick Potter, I think, and I think he struggled. Were you at Saints with him?
Yeah.
Or were you over it?
Yeah,
I think he struggled at Saints because he had a lot more experienced boys there.
Yeah.
But whereas us younger boys, we'd listen. Obviously, you older boys didn't want to listen, so you knew everything already.
No. I was a kid with Potty at Saints,
and I think we went well under him. He was good for us as a young bunch,
Yeah.
and I think we finished like 6th. But then come back end of the year, we got like 10 or 12 points took off us or something, and obviously dropped back down. Then so that's the only time I made playoffs with Bradford. So yeah,
mate. Well, obviously I know the differences between Super League and NRL. Like when you think about how strong the players' union is over here, everything that we went through with COVID, the guaranteed contracts, and we all took a percentage cut that ended up getting paid back. You think about that back home with the Bradford Bulls, and basically there was lads.
Nothing. Yeah.
There's no guarantee. It was just you're done.
Yeah. So it definitely needed something over there like RLP at the time, and they don't have that. I don't know if they tried with GMB, but they just don't have the pull like the RLP do over here and stuff. So hopefully it don't happen to any other teams, but it's not very nice.
What's it like as a young kid to go through that? And
I think for me, it wasn't too bad for me myself. It was more the older boys that had like families and they had mortgages to pay, and they didn't know whether they were going to get paid or stuff. Obviously, I was still living at home at the time, so it probably didn't affect me as much as them. But obviously now I'm a bit older and I've got a daughter and stuff, I could understand how much stress and that it would put somebody through.
Yeah, they're literally lads thinking they were getting paid, a couple of grand a month, and
then they were getting nothing.
Gone.
So I think we went 6 or 8 weeks with no pay, and we didn't have to train either. So we didn't turn up training, and I think we won like 6 out of 8 games.
Did you?
And then the new owner came in, Omar Khan. He's like a big curry house owner in Bradford, and he bought a thing. And then we played Hull FC and we got pumped like 70-6, and we trained all week. So we said, should have just. I remember we were at Morley Dashers. Nick Scruton used to take us there. The quiz night were on a Tuesday, and we used to go there every Tuesday when we weren't training them 6-7 week just as a team. And we went to Wigan and they were like top of league, and I think we beat them by about 10 or something.
I think I can remember that.
Yeah. So
mate, it's just it. Look, I loved the game over there, and it did so much for me, like it did for you. But then when examples like that happen, or you see things like Celtic Crusaders go under, Bradford, the Toronto Wolfpack lads not getting paid, it pisses me off a little bit that people just like, well, yourself doing this not a job.
I think that comes from the top, from the RFL as well. Obviously, they need to have something in place for if the team does struggle, because it's not fair on the employers or the players, like just to be thrown under a bus and be like, oh, you're not getting paid now. Like, they should have something, but I don't know how the RFL run the game and where their money comes from and stuff. But you know, for me, I definitely think they need to invest in like a pot where if something does happen, there's some safety for them, that team.
Well, obviously over here, all the club payment to players is come from the NRL, because it's that's part of your grant.
Yep.
But obviously back home, it's.
I think they get a little bit from Sky Sports, but I think even that money is going down like more. You know what I mean? Which is a shame to see. Obviously, you know, there's that many players up, especially in the Northern England. It's a big sport up there, and for like the TV rights and stuff to be going down, it's not a good sign for the game.
No, I'm concerned. Like even the other week, there was a story in it at St Helens have made massive losses. They're still going to fulfil the cap, but they're going to look to cut spending elsewhere.
Yeah, but they've got a new system next year and a new governing body, like kind of thing. I don't know what they're called.
Yeah, it's like they basically switched to the franchise model, haven't they? Where it's like 12 teams.
So hopefully that works out a little bit better and thing, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's like we're all very passionate supporters of it over there. But just back to Canberra and Raiders. You come over here, make a name for yourself, and in 2019, just things were going off.
Yeah, look, you know, we had a great season, and you know, very proud of that season. You know, the boys all turned up week in, week out, and you know, we got to the grand final and pulled up a little bit short. Obviously, there's a lot of dodgy calls in that grand final, but you know, end of the day, we had our opportunities to win that game, and we didn't take them, and you know, the Roosters did, and yeah, it's a hard one to swallow.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. You know, I thought John Bateman played a massive part in his success that year, and he coming over, and you know what he's like as an individual. He competes week in, week out, and he really drove that at training, and you know, you could see that come game day for us.
On that game, the grand final, do you feel like you were the better team?
Yeah, I definitely do. You know, like I said, I think we had probably a few more opportunities than they did. We just didn't take them at the time. You know, the big one that pops into my mind is when BJ should have just passed the rapper and we probably score in corner and probably go on there to win. But yeah, look, we just didn't take them that day, and the Roosters did. And you know, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, it's about the 6 again call or the trainer on the field, even though it's a bit annoying. But
yeah, what you don't. I mean, I'm not going to ask you to talk if you don't want, but like, does it? Do you think those were incorrect? Like, it's the wrong way they should have gone. Like, if the referee calls 6 again, it's 6. Like, you
it
can't.
Was just hard for him to change because Jack had the ball, so he didn't kick it, and he kept hold of it, and then that next set they've gone down and scored against us. I think.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, so, but like it must have pissed you off to be like, well, hang on a minute, you've made the referee's never wrong. Like, what you've done that action.
I think the other one that pissed me off more was the trainer one, because I was like running downfield when he.
You had a chance to score.
Probably wouldn't have made it, like, but I'd have tried.
Yeah,
but they got a full set again then from the scrum, and I'm like,
because is it something stupid about like where it happened? It's advantage to or to restart of play with the team technically like in possession on the last play. It's like
play. So I thought that were I think they changed that rule now though, which I thought
they've changed it
I think
since.
they have changed that since, but they obviously don't help us now. But yeah, like I said though, like we had our opportunities and we just didn't take them that day.
Yeah, I've been inside some shitty dressing rooms after a game. How do you describe the sort of the feeling post grand final?
I think just like sickening, like what you've done all year to get there, and then just to pull up that short, and you know, to look around it and see everyone's faces. You know, it showed how tight of a group we were and what it meant to everybody. There were a lot of tears and that, you know, on the field before we even got into the dressing room and stuff. So. Yeah, it's definitely not a nice feeling. Obviously, you've been on that side of it as well, and you know, you put all that hard work in all year, and you know, you get there and you're confident that you're going to win, and you know, you get your heart broken come that final whistle. It's
yeah. One of the big things for when I was at the Bulldogs was the fan support. and the streets of Belmore would go off. When Canberra go well,
oh, they'd get on his back, mate. Like that grand final. I remember running out there, and like I reckon 3/4 of that stadium were just all green, and like it was a mad atmosphere for us. Obviously, you know, I didn't realise how much support the Raiders had till probably that moment when I saw that. Obviously, playing against the Roosters, you'd have thought at least it'd be 50-50, but we just covered it in green. And you know, they turn up in the numbers even when we're not going too well. You know, on a cold Friday night up in Canberra, it gets pretty cold, and you know there'll still be 12,000-13,000 there watching us. So yeah, they're very loyal, and obviously when we are going well, they jump on back of us and you know get us going. I think against South in the prelim, I think there were 20-something thousand there.
Was there?
Yeah, that were mad atmosphere, roaring and that. So yeah.
Is there much of a like when you hear about Parramatta? There's a cloud over their success from the 80s. Is there much of that feeling in Canberra?
Nah, not really. I think Canberra have, they've had their success in the 80s, and then they've been good, but probably hadn't had the success that we probably should have done especially since I've been here. I feel like, we made the prelim in 2016, and then we didn't back it up 17 and 18. Then we made grand final, 20 prelim, and then we didn't back it up again, 22. So 21, sorry. And I feel like Canberra's a one club town. One club,
one team town.
One team town. And yeah, they support us, and they want us to do well. And I don't think they look back on the 80s and that. Some old blokes might, but yeah.
The Viking clap. Does it piss you off?
Nah, it's pretty cool, man.
Pisses me off, man.
All kids love it, and that it's good. Mick Ennis loves it.
Yeah, doesn't he? He hates that. Because for the reason it annoys me is because it's Iceland.
Iceland. I think that's where they got it from.
They did. Well, Iceland were doing it in that. I think the 2018 Euros.
Yeah.
And they beat England.
Yeah.
And then
we took
Raiders start doing it. I'm like,
not happy with that.
Not happy. No.
I have to tell him. Jim Graham ain't happy.
I don't even know how you as an Englishman can deal with that.
I've done a few things that goes against English when Johnny Bairstow got done.
Piers Morgan came after you, didn't he?
Like after that game, I went in changing rooms and boys were like, one of the media guys like, Piers Morgan's tweeted about you. I'm like, not yet. He goes, yeah, he's got like millions of followers. Got up my phone, ding, 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 just getting hammered. And then ended up having an interview with him. Aaron Mullen sorted it out, and we had an interview, and he gave me a bit of crap for a while, but no, he was a good bloke. Texted him a few times since then. So
have you really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried getting him to come at one at Tonga games last year, but he was busy. So,
mate, but what a bizarre reaction, because it was just a
it was for a good cause, charity. You know what I mean? And I don't think he realised that. And obviously he said once he realised it, he said he donated, but I'm not sure if he did donate. But might have to chase him up.
Don't know if you can trust Piers Morgan, mate. Yeah, I don't know if you can trust him. Mate, it's not just Canberra where you've made a name for yourself. Obviously, very decorated England and Great Britain international. We've shared a lot of good times together. What are you? And you recently retired from international football. What are your finest memories from that time in England?
Probably one that sticks out will be that Tonga semi-final in Auckland. The atmosphere and the game, how it unravelled. We went in front and they just last 10 minutes started to steamroll us and nearly came back and beat us. That's probably the main one that stands out to me as in game. But I've always been proud of pulling that jersey on. I think being a young kid, I wasn't sure if I'd ever play Super League, never mind play for England. So every time I pulled that on, I wanted to give it my all. And, I think it showed the passion that, especially that 2017 team, the group we had when we'd sing National Anthem, you could hear everyone singing it out loud, and showed the passion we had for that jersey, and it showed on the field as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, mate, but that tackle on for Fita, it makes me nervous every time I watch it back, man.
Everyone says I stripped it, but I'll just try to tackle him. He was a big bloke, and unfortunately for us, he dropped it, and we ended up going to the World Cup final. But Yeah, that'd have been up there with a grand final loss if they ended up getting over that last minute and scoring that try.
Mate, what the fuck was Jerry McGilvey doing
Jez.
when he dropped that ball?
Well, I thought, because he'd gone, I thought, oh, yeah, we're
Mate,
on
I'd
here.
stopped.
Yeah.
I'd literally stopped and I breathed that sigh of relief. It's over.
Yeah, because they just had all that crowd on their back as well.
Yeah.
They were just roaring that place, and they were coming. And then we got ball back, and I thought, oh yeah, we got it. And like you said, he dropped it, and I'm like, oh no.
Fuck, we're back on here.
So,
one of my finest memories of you playing for England or Great Britain was in that cafe in Brisbane after a big night out. You and John Bateman still half court, and me and Josh Hodgson were sat on the same table as you. You two were filthy that we were laughing at you. But he told the same story to everyone that walked in.
Yeah, he loves the story of that when he's a bit drunk and all about it. But yeah, there are a few states we got in them. You know, it's always good on tour. You've had me out on a few Tuesday nights midweek on piss and say, well, just go for a few. And next minute it's 3 o'clock and we got training the next day, and I'm like,
well. To be fair, we did it once after we beat New Zealand
twice
2-0,
yeah.
And then the Tuesday would be go for a look. You got to go for a look sometimes.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. But
no,
I was waiting every Tuesday for a text every time we were on tour. I knew it would come in at 8 o'clock-ish, ready to go for a look. So.
Let's go for a walk. When Wayne Bennett came in, what were your thoughts on him? Like for me, for England to land a coach like that, and obviously they got Sean Wayne now, who's done so much. But where we were at when Bentos came in, it really lifted us. Yeah,
definitely. Look, you know what he's done in the game were massive for England to get him as the coach, and you know you could feel the playing group grow towards him. You know, Wayne's probably not the one that gives you the most technical like game plan and stuff. But he's a person that knows how to manager as a person, and knows how to get you up for a game. And he did that well with a lot of us individuals, and got the best out of us, which helped us get the wins that we needed. And yeah, we're great to have. Before I used to see him at media, and I'd be like, oh no, he's a bit grumpy. But once you get to know him as a bloke, he's a legend, and he's pretty funny actually. I've had some good laughs with him.
Yeah, we did. Before we get into the 4 questions for each and every guest, is there anything you'd like to spill on Josh Hodgson?
Hodgie?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I've got one, Hodgie, to be honest.
He's a sly bastard, isn't he? He's like,
he gives a lot out, but then he disappears and you can't really get him back.
Yeah.
So, but he's a good bloke. He's been one of the best players I've played with.
His tribal tats still get me.
A lot of English boys have them still though. So
the tribals. Yeah.
Never seen it. Like never. Tag had one. Ryan Sutton has one. A lot of them.
John Bateman's
got his Maori tat. Yeah. So,
did any of the lads down in Canberra ask any questions of that?
I think when he first came, he got a bit of grief and that about it, but
because it looks out of place, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. Especially a white kid from Bradford, it's a bit random to get, but yeah.
All right, on to the 4 questions for each and every guest. Elliot, we've got the dream spine. So you're 1, 6, 7, 9.
Oh, I don't know. We're hard. My 7, I'd probably go Nathan Cleary. And I'll probably go like more modern players, more my era but I think Nathan Cleary, the player he is and what he does for that Premier team's massive, especially in big moments. My 9, Cam Smith, I think just as well how the success he had at Melbourne and now he controlled the game were pretty special. Fullback out.
I only give you 2 days' notice to think of it, mate.
I was changing all the way up in car today. All right, Tom Trbojevic.
All right, okay, yeah, nice.
I think when he plays for Manly, they're a lot better team. And then what's that left 6?
Yeah, you should have. For you, 5'8".
I got Leon Price.
Pricey in there.
I got me mate.
Nice.
I think when he were
He
was
good.
He was good.
Yeah, he was good.
So yeah, he's a runner as well. So clearly can organise. Yeah.
Hey, just quickly on going to England next year, or going to France to play in Super League. The new rules that are coming in over there,
No, I'm not sure about them.
like tackle height below the nipple. Have you got any thoughts?
I hip drop anyway, so.
Oh, you just
I'll be all right.
you'd be sound.
Obviously,
Yeah,
as long as
fair
I can do
enough.
that.
Fair enough. If I normally say footy, but if rugby league didn't exist, what do you think you would have done?
I'd have been an electrician, obviously.
Oh yeah, you Sparky.
Yeah, I'd have probably stuck that out and just played for West Bowling at home. So yeah, I'd probably be an electrician now.
Yeah, fair enough. A sliding doors moment. You think about the alternative happening.
Probably it's like for me, one of my sliding doors.
No, I fucking.
Or just like a random,
Dave.
not like a worldwide one.
No,
not
not a worldwide. Give us both.
No,
give us a worldwide one.
Get them off in my mouth.
Yeah, give us. You've gone there, mate. Give us a personal
me
one.
Probably asking to be released from Bradford.
Yeah.
I probably don't think I'd become the player I am if I didn't move to Catalan. And I had Seb Tyre, Steve Menzies again, Louis Anderson, a lot of older boys to learn a lot off, and they taught me a lot. And I feel like if I didn't go there, then I probably wouldn't have ever come over to the NRL or done what I've done in my career.
Was Beaver quite influential in you coming over?
Yeah, I think even just watching him at training helped me out a lot.
Yeah.
Just watching his movements and stuff and how he presented himself and that. So, yeah. Oh, over here. I thought he meant
to come over.
He once told me he'd get me at Manly, but then he never spoke again to me. So.
Really?
Yeah.
Give us your sliding doors moment worldwide that you wonder about, Elliot, because you've obviously thought of this.
Nah, I hadn't.
You just, all right, fair enough.
Nah, leave that one.
The most interesting person that you've met along the way?
No, I'll tell you who was interesting. I don't really know him. He just weirded me out one day. Brian Smith.
What happened?
Because he was coaching Wakefield. And he just come up talking to me and he was nice. But then next minute he started talking about, you missed a lot of tackles. And I think he would try to get in my head before the game. And then he just walked off. And I was like, hey, that's weird.
So hang on a minute. You're playing for Catalan or Bradford?
Catalan.
Playing for Catalan.
And he comes
you
over.
Playing against Wakefield?
Wakefield. He's got coming up to me and talking about missed tackles and knock-ons and then just walked off. And I thought, that's a bit weird. So he's probably not interesting, but interesting in that aspect. Right. I've heard a few stories about him. There's a bit thing.
He had a bit to do with England before you came on the scene. I liked him.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, really liked him.
Oh, obviously, because Tony's his son.
Tony's his brother. No, he wasn't with Tony Smith. He was with...
I said Brian Smith in that, did I?
Yeah. No, Brian Smith. Brian Smith and Tony Smith are brothers.
Oh, are they? I thought Tony and Rowan were brothers. What is he called? Brian's the dad, isn't it?
No. I think Rowan's Tony's son.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I'm getting into it a bit deep here.
No, he is. Rowan is either Brian or Tony's son.
Ah. Oh, well, there you go. Learn some on this year.
The Smith family tree. Smell, thanks so much for coming on here and joining us. I've gone easy on you, mate, because
I appreciate that.
There's plenty of areas we could have gone.
Yeah,
but,
we don't need to go down them streets.
No, we don't. It's been a pleasure to call you a teammate, Elliot. I genuinely love playing with you for England, for Great Britain. I'm very proud of you for what you've achieved over here. I think when you came over as a quality Super League player, one of the best back rows in Super League, and you established yourself as one of the best back rows over here. And mate, just finally to wrap it up, I think what you could see how much Canberra meant to you with that interview at the end. It was pretty moving and pretty special. Like, yeah, it's funny. Like we play this game. It's a hard game to play, but to see you like breaking down after it just shows what it meant to you.
Yeah, I didn't think I would cry, but it all hit me, and it was my last game at home, and I think that's something like Sticky's drove into me about being passionate for the club and the badge that you wear, and I've been there 9 years, made a lot of friends, and they're like family to me. So yeah, it was upsetting that that time's come to an end, and I had a little cry. So yeah,
it's all right, mate. It's all right to cry.
Cheers,
I had to
mate.
cry as well. All right, cheers, Elliot.
No worries,
Thanks,
thank
mate.
you. Cheers.
Elliot, it's just been brought to our attention that wasn't the only tears that were shed. Can you give up your dogs?
Yeah, I had to give my dogs away. Obviously, going to France and didn't really want to fly them over just for the year. So I had 2 French bulldogs, and yeah, I had a cry when I walked away from them as well. So yeah,
You know this is going to air,
yeah, I know.
and
It's all right to cry. You said.
yeah, it is, but not over losing, like saying
I
bye
like
to
my
dogs.
kids, mate.
You've had 2 dogs and you're leaving them for a year.
I'm sure there's a lot of dog lovers out there that'd agree with me. So, you got a dog?
No.
Evil, mate.
No. Mate, so hang on a minute.
I'm going.
You're not going. Mate, you cried over leaving your dogs.
Yeah.
Disgrace. You are going because you're kicking you out.